Sir, are you sure you're in the right seat? The flight attendant's voice was polite but impatient. Clyde Harrison, 84, didn't look away from the window, watching fuel trucks move across the runway. He'd seen runways like this all his life, some greeting him with cheers, others in silence. Sir, Brenda tried again, louder this time. This is business class. I need to check your boarding pass. Across the aisle, a man in an expensive suit sighed dramatically. Clyde finally turned. His pale blue eyes were calm, unbothered by the tension around him. Seat 16A, he rumbled. That's what my ticket says. Brenda took the crumpled pass and inspected it with thinly masked disbelief. It was valid. She handed it back stiffly. Everything is in order. Please store your bag. Clyde had no bag. Marcus, the man in the suit, laughed loudly. Anyone can get up here these days. Probably used some senior discount. Clyde ignored him, watching the ground crew work with quiet focus. But Brenda wasn't done. She returned with the senior attendant, Carol, a stern woman, whose eyes scanned Clyde like he didn't belong. Sir, Carol said. Another passenger raised concerns. Are you feeling well? Do you know where you're going? Clyde looked up, patient but exhausted. San Diego, I'm fine. Marcus cut in, pretending concern. He's confused. Happens to my grandfather. Let's move him to the back so we can take off. Passengers murmured agreement. To them, Clyde was just an old man in worn clothes, delaying their schedule. Carol folded her arms. Even with a valid ticket, we can remove any passenger causing disruption. Clyde's fingers brushed a cracked leather wristband, a lifeline to another world. A flash hit him. Jet fuel, fire, a young man named Danny Deacon Miller, fastening the same band around his wrist decades ago. So you remember the way home? Danny had yelled over the roar of an F-4 Phantom. The memory vanished. The cabin returned. The captain arrived, Captain Evans, calm, authoritative. Brenda and Carol painted Clyde as confused and unfit to fly. Marcus complained loudly about business class standards. A young aviation enthusiast named Ben watched uneasy. Something in Clyde's stillness, his quiet dignity, wasn't confusion, it was authority. When Evans leaned over Clyde and urged him to cooperate so they could avoid further delay, Clyde sighed and unbuckled. The humiliation was nearly complete. Ben acted fast. With the cabin doors still open, he texted his friend Jake, an air traffic controller. Look up Clyde Harrison, 80s, business class. They're trying to kick him off. Something feels wrong. Jake ran the name through the federal system. Dozens of results. Then one. Locked under level 7 clearance, marked in deep red. Jake's Air Force veteran supervisor saw the file, went pale, and snapped orders. Patch me through to the cockpit of Flight 732. Use the Spectre to 1 channel. Hold that plane at the gate. Let it take off. Brenda wiped her eyes, whispering, "Thank you for giving me a chance to learn." Clyde simply nodded. Just treat the next person better than you treated me. That's all any of us can do. She left the diner quietly, carrying the weight of that lesson. A few days later, Clyde visited a small veterans memorial overlooking the ocean.
Ow.
The waves crashed below as he traced the names etched in stone. He stopped at one he always lingered on. Daniel Deacon Miller. He touched the worn leather band on his wrist, feeling again the heat, smoke, and Danny's fading grip pressing it into his hand. Take us home. A soft breeze moved across the cliff. Clyde stood there for a long moment, remembering not only the fire and terror, but the laughter, the camaraderie, and the years of silence that followed. He finally whispered, "We made it home, kid." Behind him, someone approached. Ben, the young man from the flight, stood with his hands in his jacket pockets, unsure. "Sir, I just wanted to thank you for everything you did, and for showing me what real courage looks like. I'm starting flight school next month. I hope someday I can be even a fraction of what you were." Clyde offered a faint smile. "Fly smart, fly humble, and remember, your crew comes first." Ben nodded, swallowing hard, and stepped back with a final salute. As Clyde walked toward the parking lot, his phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "Anytime you fly again, sir, the sky is yours. Spectre Flight." He paused, chuckling softly to himself. Decades had passed since he last heard those words spoken with such respect. He looked up at the open sky, clear, endless, shimmering with sunlight, and gave the quietest nod, almost imperceptible. A tribute from the past, answered by a new generation. Clyde climbed into his old sedan, the leather band warm against his skin. For the first time in many years, the weight he carried felt just a little lighter. The world had seen an old man in a worn jacket, but now, at least for a moment, they remembered Spectre. And that was enough.